Okay, so I just wanted to get some thoughts down on this one quick. Not quick enough as it turns out, but got a lot going on here. Flash review will be up very soon as we can get that together as well. No, it doesn't come out for a week, but the embargo is going to go down. The full review embargo anyway. I think the social media reviews embargoes are down. Anyway. Yeah, there's a new Transformers movie, and pretty good. Not as good as Bumblebee. A few of these are probably going to be, but Rise of the Beast, a lot of fun. As you probably no doubt heard by now, since we're probably not going to have this one up before Saturday. If you're a big Transformers fan, big 80s nostalgia property fan in general, you're going to want to see this one early, or see it right away so people don't spoil it for you, because the ending on this one, pretty nuts, pretty bonkers. Kind of, cackled and laughed and said, oh shit, that's crazy when I saw it. Thinking about it later, went, man, if I had seen that when I was like 7 years old, you'd be peeling me off the goddamn ceiling. Otherwise, the movie is just fine. Weird thing about this one, they basically put Rise of the Beasts in the title because they're hyping that the Beast Wars Transformers characters are in it, as though this is like the debut for that. It's a debut in a live action, though they're animated characters for CGI still, obviously. Though they are very much guest stars in this. This is still very much an Autobots movie, mostly an Optimus Prime movie, as it turns out, an Optimus Prime and Mirage movie. That's Pete Davidson is now the voice of Mirage in this, and he's pretty good. I think I underestimated the appeal of Pete Davidson as a comedian, and now probably as the voice of a robot. Who knew? They also seem weird about, just admitting that this is fully a reboot now in the franchise. This is Bumblebee 2. This is the sequel to Bumblebee, reboot of the franchise. This is not a continuation of the Michael Bay movies. They've rebooted the franchise officially, and by the end of this, very officially. But now, yeah, the Beast Wars characters show up pretty much adhering to the continuity of Beast Wars, other than how they get here and why in the first place. It's still from the future and from the past, and we'll explain that later. Very clearly setting up that they want to continue them off in their own thing, probably with a going back and doing dinosaur stuff and past stuff and Predacons and whatnot, which is fine, because I'd like to see more of them. They're fun characters. It still makes absolutely no sense whatsoever why a robot would disguise itself as a robotic gorilla that's bigger than a regular gorilla or rhino, but whatever, it looks cool. If you're asking Transformers to make sense, it doesn't. They sort of lampshade it in this with the why are you from space but you look like cars from Earth, and why would you ask us to explain that in the first place? It's not as compact, well-observed a story as Bumblebee was, where Bumblebee was like a genuinely decent movie that could have just been a one-off movie that didn't necessarily need to have anything to do with the Transformers brand and still be excellent, and then they went and put all of the G1 accurate Cybertron stuff and the references, and you went, oh wow, this was fucking amazing, blow my eyes out. This one is more a solid B+ Transformers movie with also some pretty awesome stuff in there. Yes, there's Unicron stuff. Sort of goes back to not necessarily the Michael Bay model, but the narrative model of those, where we have a human character who befriends the characters, and they have their find the magic doohickey. In this case, they're looking for a transwarp key so they can beam back across the galaxy to go home, and there's character arcs and whatnot. It's set in the 90s so that they can get a really good soundtrack. The new character is an ex-military guy, and his brother is sick, and he's trying to earn money for his family. And what's interesting is that for a change, this time they finally decide, hey, what if Optimus Prime is an actual character in the movie, in addition to being the co-lead guy with Mirage and the human character? Everyone loves Optimus Prime. Optimus Prime is great. A problem that they consistently have in these is that Optimus Prime is a great archetype who gets to have really cool lines where he says cool action hero things, but doesn't really undergo growth, and when he does, it often feels forced. Here, they basically drop them in with a story conceit where, mirroring the main human character who feels like he has been screwed over by his sense of duty, that he's maybe made the wrong call, maybe should have stuck with his military duties, maybe now he'd be able to help his family more, but he did what he thought was the right thing for his family, and it wasn't the right thing to do, and now they're suffering because of it. Optimus Prime took the Autobots to Earth, usual Transformers story. Now they're stuck here, they can't get home. What's going on with that battle? They all feel all bummed out about it, and he's taking all this weight onto himself, and it's making him act like a dick instead of a good leader. Still basically the same character, but now people call him out on not having a lot of dimensionality to him. Peter Cullen's very good at this sort of performance. There's some subtlety to doing the usual Optimus Prime stuff, but being kind of a dick about it instead of being a stoic badass about it. And and it eventually tracks through. You know where it's going to go. The bad guys are going to show up. They're going to go looking for this cool thing that they have to find. Basically, the kind of stuff they were trying to do in The Last Knight that got really stupid, but here they dash it off very quickly. Okay, this is a kid's movie. Find magic runes, find secret treasures, go through some tunnels, do some Indiana Jones, National Treasure, Nicolas Cage, Harrison Ford stuff. They find a supporting female character, also very good. Meet up with the Maximals. The bad guys are Scourge, 2 henchmen, and a bunch of mooks for the humans to fight. There are good chase scenes, lots of good Transformers action. The soundtrack is very good. There's some Vince DiCola music in there from the movie. There's some strong compositions for the new movie. There's big moments in this, like when a character who we thought was not going to be in the movie anymore makes a big return, and my audience went nuts for it. I mean, I can't really understand that people didn't think that they'd be back, but it was big. There's a big moment towards the end with some human integration with the action that's very cool, that where I also found myself thinking, it's like, you know, man, if I were Shia LaBeouf, I'd be kind of pissed off that I did not get to do what this guy gets to do. It's very fun. This is about where Transformers should be. It's a B-action movie with big goofy robots doing big goofy robot shit. It gets apocalyptic stakes. It's very cool to see a realization of Unicron show up and be almost as ridiculous as Unicron is in the animated movie, and teasing that it might be more ridiculous beyond that. And it's got real heart to it, you know, for as basic as this sort of stuff is. And again, you kind of want it to be basic. These are movies for 10-year-olds. It's about trucks that turn into robots and then do cool truck and cool robot stuff together. But the eventual story of it, what does it mean to be of service to others, of service to yourself, the balance between duty and self, the kids movie version of how to be a good leader, how to work with a team. It carries off decent lessons of that in a good narrative context, in the way that the original Transformers cartoon did as well, which is to say, somewhat on the nose action movies for kids. And that's about what it should be. And yeah, without putting too fine of a point on it, but, you know, the director made it a point to say that, yeah, we did this on purpose. And the movie certainly doesn't shy away from it. There's a police chase with Mirage and the main character, whose name is Noah. We definitely know who the good guys are and who we're supposed to be rooting for. Both of our main characters are people of color who are not getting respect at work, or in the main guy's case, the ability to get work, and are not being able to really advance or get by as they should be because of who they are and the way society has them. That's mirrored through the Autobots. The soundtrack very pointedly leans on 90s hip-hop. There's a lot of interesting choices in who voices the Autobots, Maximals, the Terracons. It's a different feel and vibe to what the Transformers can be, so it says a lot without saying a lot. And so in that respect, in the same sense as the anyone can wear the mask stuff, this is sort of aiming to do for toy robots what Spider-Verse did for Marvel superheroes. And, you know, it doesn't maybe get there quality-wise, but thematically, it's right on board. And I think that's really cool. I had a lot of fun with the movie. Man, if they're really going where it seems like where they're going with that ending, wow, that is really something. This might have felt like a bit of a ramble, but it's a rambly kind of movie. And that's great. Toy robots. One of them's a monkey. One of them's a truck. It's crazy. It's Transformers. I give this a 7 out of 10. Check it out.